Hello out there, comic book fans. I happen to get my comics done today already, except for the Scribbler. When I did my unboxing video yesterday, I was gonna try and do a review of that today, but I will do that later. American Horror Story is on in about 20 minutes or so I want to get this done and so I can get some stuff ready and watch the show. So let's get this started. I'm going to start out with Exorcisters #1. I only became aware of this one a couple of days ago when I saw someone doing a preview for what was coming out this week. It's by Ian Boothby, the writer, and the artist is Giselle Legance. I was kind of hoping from the description that it was going to be a solid horror comic, but it's not. It's more comedy, horror comedy, but not the good horror comedy, sort of like Backslash. It's just, it's about these two, I guess, sisters. I don't want to give away the twist of this. They aren't quite sisters, but it's Kate and Kate. Kate with a K and Kate with a C. You sort of see that I don't know if you can tell with this, but they are pretty much identical. It's Kate and Kate Harrow. They deal with things that have kind of an occult thing. You sell your soul to the devil, you're dealing with demons and stuff like that, and they come and take care of it. And I guess they're trying to make it a little funny and cute, but it didn't quite work. And if you look at the art, it's more cartoony than Saturday morning cartoony type of stuff than the type of stuff that I like. I don't know, if you're into this type of thing, great, get it. If not, don't. I don't think I'm gonna get the second issue. I'm gonna give that a 2.5 out of 5. Okay. The Witching Hour #3, which would be Justice League Dark. #4, which is who is this? Oh, you know who it's by. Now the art is really good. This Witching Hour #1 started out really interesting. The second one was in Wonder Woman was pretty good. This one is more along the lines of the last Wonder Woman one, which is part 2, than the Witching Hour #1. There's a lot going on. It's kind of hard to follow a little bit, and the art is still pretty good. You're having to try and keep up with what's going on because they just keep switching back and forth, and there's a lot to try and take in, which can be a little complicating. You have to go back a little bit, so that makes it a little odd for me, but it's still good. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Now this one surprised me. X-Men Black #1, Mystique. I got the Magneto. I wasn't too impressed with that. I didn't get the Mojo one because I don't like Mojo. But I took a chance with Mystique #1, or this one. I don't know much about Mystique, but I really like this. I really like this issue because it's just kind of gives you an insight to about Mystique, which I don't know much about. Let's see if I can. It's Zach Thompson and Lonnie Nadler were the writers, and Geraldo Borges was the artist. It is told from Mystique's point of view, and she switches identities about like 800 times in this issue. There are with good reasons. She's on a mission for something, and just get two missions. One, the main mission, and the secondary is to free a lady, a young mutant who's been being held at one of the Trask Industry Towers. And it's really interesting the way they do this. She's talking about like actors who do it for the art, but you can be really good at something, but you need to practice. It's weird the way she did it, but I recommend this book. I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. Justice League #10. It is the beginning of the Earth flooded storyline, and the only reason this is getting as high as it is because it's bringing back a character that I absolutely loved since high school. Now this character has made a couple of appearances in Doomsday Clock series. This is the first one in DC continuity that they're showing him lately. Firestorm, and it's the Ronnie Raymond Firestorm, or as far as I know. And this is setting up the Earth flooded event, or the beginning of the Earth flooded event. And it's pretty good. The art is good. If you take a look, there's another Firestorm bit here. He's working with Aquaman. It's another big event that DC is working on. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to be picking this series up when it comes out. Earth flooded, and with Justice League having to deal with that. I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. This is Scott Snyder's deal here. Then we have the last two. Gideon Falls by Andrea Sorrentino and Jeff Lemire. This is kind of a continuation of what's happened before and the beginning of a new arc. It's still just as good as it was before. It's kind of creepy, and the art is a little different, but it suits the story. Excuse me. And it has a little just different ways of doing it in this story. I'm really liking the vibe of this story. It's just as kind of they're revealing enough as they go along, just to keep the story from going stagnant, and letting you know more as it goes along, but it's not revealing too much and not revealing enough. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. And lastly, Hack/Slash Resurrection. This is a kind of a one-off issue, I guess, between story arcs. You have Cassie and Vlad leaving the town from the last issue. You have Vlad being heartbroken over splitting up with Vampirella. And they crash their car in a town called Wortham that deals with a superhero named the Censor. And you get, anytime you swear or things like that, you get censored. You do certain, like, horror movie tropes, sort of, that you can see it's blurred out. Stuff is blurred out. That's because of the censor. There's kind of a takeoff of a Batman type thing. And as you can see, Cassie's girlfriend from before is back. It's kind of a good riff on horror movies and kind of, censoring stuff and like that. And one thing I loved about this was, in an attempt to engage, to get the censor to come out to fight them, they bring back, or they make reference to, I don't know if any of you guys have seen Blade 3, or Blade Trinity, with Ryan Reynolds, role in it. They bring back one of his lines, which was, of course, it's getting, bleeped out in the comic and in life. And in there, she uses the "you cock-juggling thunder cunt" line, which I thought was awesome. Of course, they're, bleeping. They're making that stuff out of the comic, just putting the little marks instead of the words. And it's being censored in the story, too, which I thought was a fantastic throwback to the movie and got a good laugh out of me. All right, so that's a 4.5 out of 5. Or, 4.25 out of 5, I should give. All right, that's it for this week's. I'm going to go for now. But let me know if you got anything I did, if you liked what I did, if you agree with my reviews, and like and subscribe. Talk to you later. Bye.